I don't know. I'm pretty embarrassed by everything I've ever done in my entire life. Anyways, let's start the episode. Click.
Remember that record that you bought me like 2 years ago? Well, I just remembered that it's sitting in the closet. So I called you up just to tell you I've been meaning to listen to that. I've been meaning to listen to that. Why don't you come over and talk about it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Why don't you come over and talk about it?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to I've Been Mean to Listen to That, the podcast where we go through albums we've been mean to listen to and use it as a conduit to learn about each other and our guests. I'm Andrew Ambrose Lee.
I'm Stanley Philippe.
John Butts.
And this is very exciting. It's been 5 years since his last appearance. He's a writer on Strip Law. Everyone Still Hates Chris. He was the Dear White People. He was the co-host of Culture Kings. I also looked at his IMDb. He wrote something called Masturbator back in 2012. Please welcome Edgar Momplaisir.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Culture King.
Man, I guess that's one. Yeah.
Like you're a biopic? Like,
Uh, it was like I was in this film class and we needed to do a group project and I had a script that I wanted to do, but it was too hard to do and I needed to like pivot very quickly. And so I came up with this short film that was everything that this guy masturbates to comes to life. And so like, if he like,
Easier task.
yeah. And it was a very terrible short film. Let's just say that.
wow.
It was not
Wow.
good.
I think
funny.
Chris Nolan's adapting it into his after the Odyssey. He's gonna be working on it.
Yeah, I'd like to see how he does like his whole time thing with that.
Yes. Anyways, it's told in reverse. The sperm goes back in. No, okay, that's
No. Cut that.
yeah, we're gonna cut that. Like, yeah. So we're here to talk about Baby Keem's Casino. Yeah, let's just get right into it. Like, what's your guys's relationship to Baby Keem? Mine is pretty simple. I saw him. The first time I've heard him was on Donda. Praise God, that song, fantastic
Wow.
feature. And then just like I took a cursory listen to the Melodic Blue, and I enjoyed it, but like it wasn't like a thing I returned to. And then his features on Mr. Morale, I was like, oh, he's got something to say. He's got something really impressive to say. I can't wait to hear it. And then we didn't hear from him for 5 years. He pulled an Edgar Momplaisir, and like we didn't hear from him for 5 years. And so this is a very highly anticipated album. But I really there was a lot riding on this. So what about you guys? What's your perception and history of Baby Keem?
Feel like I kind of had a similar entry point, Andrew, and like I remember Praise God and the bada da boom, the bada da dee, like, oh, he's riding it. It was like, who is this guy? And then, you kind of get this, journalism, hip hop journalism. They start connecting the dots. You hear that he's affiliated with Kendrick. So I think that kind of like painted my expectations a little bit. And then it was, funnily enough, I listened to Melodic Blue when I relocated to St. Louis for the first time, and I drove the U-Haul truck all the way back. So my youngest brother was like, we got to listen to this Baby Keem. Like he's the next up. And I remember like enjoying the album, but it wasn't something that resonated with me in a way where I felt like I needed to tap in like long term, if that makes sense.
Right.
I understood that he's kind of like part of the new class of what I don't know, dub as standard mainstream rap, maybe, perhaps, or like the upper echelons of standard mainstream rap. And, the Family Ties was going up, whenever you was outside, and the Hillbillies and everything. But I similarly to, and we do not have to deep dive into this, but similarly to J. Cole, I just don't have like a ton of expectations from Baby Keem. But but that's not a bad thing. I think it's okay for you to have people that you gravitate towards and folks that are kind of just like off to the side a little bit. And maybe Baby Keem has been a little off to the side, but there's still respect.
like the panties in that one song.
Hey.
It's just I don't know. Like Edgar's gonna leave early. Like he's like, look, I
Oh no,
got him back into work. Like,
no, I'm loving this. I'm loving every second of it.
yeah. That's the other thing is like I saw the Mr. Morale tour and he was an awesome like opener. Like it was so he was like even like at an early age he was able to like move a crowd and like when he came back to do Family Ties live, it was such a moment. It was so awesome. But yeah, what about
Yeah,
you,
that was
Stanley?
my yeah, that I was gonna say that because like and like everybody else, praise God, all the good stuff. The Melodic Blue, I think, is a really, really great project. And Miss Morale tour, like I was more excited to see Baby Keem than Kendrick because I had seen Kendrick like 3 or 4 times at that point. And Mr. Morale as an album, I didn't know how it would translate in a kind of concert setting. So I wasn't really looking forward to, or at least the highlight for me wasn't going to be hearing that album in an audience. It was to hear Family Ties in the audience and to
Mhm.
feel that Baby Keem energy in the audience. And it did not disappoint. Like it just like he somehow outperformed Kendrick at Kendrick's show. And
Mm.
that for me like cemented Baby Keem as like someone that I gravitate towards. And and I know we're gonna get into it, but what I was really looking forward to with this album was taking a break from the macro of hip hop. It's been such a cultural dissection since the Kendrick Drake beef, and everything gets almost like filtered through that lens. And for this, it felt like this was just about Keem and there were no, gravitational pulls or shifts that were going to happen with this album. It was just about like can Baby Keem follow up on whatever hype was left and deliver a project. So I
Mm.
think from that perspective, it was nice to go into the micro as opposed to being in the macro of the big three and does J. Cole actually suck and when will Drake come out? Iceman, Iceman, Iceman. Like this was a nice break from it all. So if nothing else, thank you, Keem, for from cleansing my palate from all the other stuff that we dealt with. So I'll just say that.
Yeah, no, I think like I really think that's a great point, Stanley. Like of like hip hop talk has been so consumed by the beef that I feel like a lot of great projects went under the radar last year. Jid's album would be high on the list for me. I thought that was a fantastic project that didn't get enough love because we were so consumed by the GNX of it all, which to me is an inferior Kendrick album. It's not a bad Kendrick album. I just think by Kendrick standards, is it that great? But yeah, no, I'm sorry. I come in with pretty hot takes, guys. I'm crazy. But like, yeah, I guess I discovered Baby Keem the same way. I think I heard either Family Ties or, man, my brain is not working. What's the other one on Melodic Blue that has Kendrick on it?
Range Brothers.
Range Brothers. Thank you. And that was like the first time I heard him.
Top of the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit was on rotation. But I think for me at the time, it was more so that I was so excited to hear Kendrick again that I wasn't really focused on Baby Keem part of it until I heard the entire Melodic Blue project. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And what I thought was so interesting about it was that Kendrick sounded so different on Melodic Blue, like have you ever been punched in the mother? Like it's like he's just has such a different energy in it that I thought it was like, oh, Baby Keem is like pulling out this like more fun version of Kendrick. Then Mr. Morale was like, oh, okay, I guess the real Kendrick is back now, like talking about really heavy shit and all that. But like I definitely felt the same way that you felt, Stanley, when I went and watched the Mr. Morale tour where Baby Keem was just electric. Like he was just really dominated that stage. And yeah, when it came out and played Family Ties. And then later the following year, I went to Camp Flognaw and saw the Hillbilly show and felt the same way that like Baby Keem really, really crushed it. Sorry, John, you're about to say something.
I was just saying, nice. That's epic.
No, yeah, no, it was a really, really awesome show that Hillbilly said. And like, Tyler came out and danced when they did the Hillbillies track and they had Kendrick's father, Kenny play, like, he did like almost like a narration of like the whole set, like between, cause it would just be
Oh,
like,
cool.
Keem would do two songs, and then Kendrick would do two songs, and then like the dad's narration was like kind of like tying them between. I can't really remember what the theme of it was. I was pretty high, but it was just like, yeah, I just like kind of was like all in on Keem, and I'm a very big Mr. Morale defender. I don't know if people hate that album. I just feel like people were maybe not all the way into it because I think it came out at a bad time. Like it was right when we were coming back from COVID, so I think everyone was like really excited to be outside, and then Kendrick was just like, hey, what about all the childhood trauma you've been burying? Like, like, is it possible that like a lot of the toxic masculinity you see from black men comes from the fact that we were like sexually abused as kids? And they're like, wait, no, we want to think about this right now. We can drink outside again. Like, what the fuck? Like, and so I think that that album was poorly received for that reason. But like I've really appreciated Baby Keem's parts of that album, even like in the music video for the opening track, like Baby Keem like kisses Kendrick on the cheek, and Kendrick has this like weird reaction to it. I thought that that interplay between the two of them was very like, is Baby Keem pushing this lighter side out of Kendrick? Is he kind of opening him up in the way that a younger sibling can, right? Like in the way that like Gen Z is kind of mocking how serious millennials take the world. And I very much so feel like that is present with GNX, which is, I think, not a very serious Kendrick project. I think it's a very fun Kendrick project. But to bring it all back to Keem, that was really interesting that this album, Casino, almost went in the opposite direction, where it is very serious. It isn't as bangery as Melodic Blue is. Like he's very introspective on this album. So it's like Kendrick got lighter, but then Baby Keem's like, nah, let me talk about all the fucked up shit from growing up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, let's just get straight into talking about this album then. Like, what did you like take away in terms of themes, in terms of what this album is about, all that?
I mean, I think, the biggest one for me is it seems like generational trauma seems to be like a big part of it, of like the idea of like what your parents do affecting what you do, affecting like, I don't know. I think it's really, he kind of has that like reflective, like, I'm rich, but I feel guilty about it, which is like really interesting. Like, right. Like he's just like, what do I owe my uncle who was fucked up to me? But like I have this money, like should I give it to him or like that? Like like he has a song where he like lets go of what his mother sort of like struggled with and like lets her know that she didn't blame him for it. It's very like I don't know. It's just such an odd album for where hip hop is currently. Like I think I agree with you, John, that he is what I would call mainstream hip hop right now. He's not like on the outskirts. Like I think he gets radio play, but even his bangers like Birds and the Bees is like about like how we talk about sex and how we talk about date. Like it's like, I don't know, it is almost like Good Kid, Mad City, where it's like swimming pools was so huge when I was in college. Everyone was drinking it while taking shots. But the song is about not drinking. And I feel like there's a lot of tracks like that on this album.
Yeah, I think that like what you say is true about Kendrick and Keem kind of flipping, and in many ways they are both tied to the pandemic. For me, it's like Kendrick during this time off from being around the world because we were all shut down, like he kind of looked and said, well, why am I the way I am? And all this trauma. And then Keem kind of talks about how he almost died when he took the vaccine. And I think that moment of near death then kind of flipped his perspective, like, oh, it's not all fun and games. Like this shit is real, and I've known this, right? Like through his upbringing, he's experienced it. But it's almost like with Melodic Blue, he suppressed it because he's like, yo, like I'm 21, I'm just gonna have as much fun as possible. And then that time of kind of near fatality then forces someone to say, well, gosh, like look what I've gone through, and and look how my upbringing with my mom and what she went through, and my grandmother and my auntie and all the different kind of checkpoints around me. And ooh, like I kind of want a love anchor, and that's not there yet. And what can I do to find that? And oh man, like there's so many different. So I think like he was forced into that position of introspection, and I think that's why this is very micro. Like I don't know if Keem would have made this album had he not gone through what he went through with that experience, because I think I think within the 5 years, he would have recognized like, yo, I've got all this pop momentum because he is a pop artist. Like,
Yeah.
I think I think that's a very important lens to look at this through is he's like a pop hip hop artist. And so he's in that vein of like a Kendrick, of a Drake, of a like name your pop artist, of a Childish, so that kind of ability to tap into the mainstream without compromising your own self-esteem, I think is really, really, really kind of big here. And I think he decided not to do the obvious thing. And I think
Mm.
that's why he calls it casino, because it's a gamble. Like
It's a
everything
gamble,
about
yeah.
this is a gamble. So yeah.
Mm.
I think it's also like the way so he had like this story of like his mom and like all these things that happened to him, but he chose not to share it like when he was young, like 5 years ago. But like grew up in that time so he could like more responsibly share the story. And like I think that's
Mm.
part of it too. Just like the way I was vulnerable when I was 20 is different from the way I'm vulnerable now. Is like I'm more guarded, I'm more protective of the people around me. I kind of shared with like a reckless abandon before, but now I'm like more considered and like because it also didn't lead to any catharsis. It was just kind of like I don't know, it was just like navel gazing at a wound basically. But
Mm.
yeah, what about you, John? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe the other aspect of casino is like kind of obvious, but kind of like what casinos and like his relationship to like being kind of like on the more impoverished socioeconomical end of the spectrum, whereas like Vegas is this like money pit, like kind of capitalistic black hole where
Mm.
like anything goes. Like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and that's from like the highest highs to the lowest lows. So we're like hearing these stories about like what it means to cross quote unquote the train tracks, but then you go over to Vegas and like people are finding their own sort of version of the black hole by being there. Like maybe you came to Vegas and like had a ton of money, but you left with no money. And like, and
Mm.
just like Vegas in general is like a terrible place to live. Like, I don't know if it was in, I like watched not all of the Boo Man documentary, but like a couple of them. And he was like, or if it's on the album as a lyric, he's like, I wish we would have stayed in Long Beach. And like,
Yeah,
when you hear
that is one of the
stories
lyrics. Yeah.
when you hear stories about Long Beach, I'm like, what you mean you would have stayed in Long Beach? Because motherfuckers was trying to leave Long Beach. Like, so I definitely think that, you know, just thinking about Las Vegas and the story of Vegas and the sort of ills that exist and like kind of inescapable and like maybe misunderstood too, you know, for folks that are not local, because we don't really hear about Vegas other than like the glitz and glam, not what it means to like be the kind of blue collar or day worker or whatever, just like an everyday man in Las Vegas. So definitely like that aspect of casino is poking through for sure.
I think that's so well put by all of you guys. I mean, I want to ask you guys a question.
Mm.
Sorry, Andrew, this is your podcast. What am I doing?
Oh, do it. Yeah.
Like, what responsibility do you think, like, because I won't lie, like, on first listen, I really like this album. I actually really enjoy it. But on first listen, I was just like, okay, where are the drums? Where's like the like Family Ties is such a fucking banger. Like, you know what I mean? Vent is such a fucking banger. Like, I just remember being like, oh, like I expecting that from this album, but like we're all saying, he is trying to like uncover and like show something beneath it. What responsibility do you think hip hop artists have to like deliver those kind of bangers? And do you guys think that like hip hop artists more so have that responsibility that I think that other pop artists don't really like? When Taylor Swift does a like, this is my introspective album, we fucking love it, and everyone starts posting ever more bullshit everywhere. But like, I feel like when a hip hop artist does their, sorry again, I haven't done this in a while, I've lost the ability to filter myself. But when like a hip hop artist does the introspective album, I feel like we get upset.
I think that kind of this is where you like draw the line between stands and like the
The
passive
hip hop.
passive listener, because like if someone sets the bar at Kid Mad City or Section 80, then we're going to listen to Mr. Morale. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Listen to Gen X. And like I feel like Melodic Blue for someone who is like relatively new to the game, sets the bar pretty high. And to do Casino, which as a package is even more truncated, he didn't even like waste our time really with Casino. I feel like he got in, got out, and like everybody still wants some more after this, even though it may not have the Range Brothers or the family ties. Like we still got, Casino. We still got the Circus freestyle. We're not getting into highlights, lowlights, but I think when you set the bar so high, you don't necessarily have to play into that too much. If the response the first time was there, maybe you got to experiment if it wasn't. You didn't reach your pinnacle, or like people didn't gravitate towards you on that first effort, then maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe you got to do what worked the first time. Like what was the one thing that popped off in that album? Let's try that again. That's my little rant on that.
Yeah, I think the what makes something pop is the repeatability of that product. Right. So when you popularize something, then they're saying, hey, I like this, so do this again. And then the pop artist usually says, okay, I'll do this again. This is why Drake is the greatest, biggest hip hop / pop artist of all time, because he was able to say, I know what you want, and I'm going to do that again and again and again. And people kind of go, great. And I think that Keem, I don't know if he wanted the label of pop hip hop artist. I think two things. I mean, obviously, Melodic Blue had the moments that just blew up. I forgot about Vent, and Vent is just so good, especially live. But I think also Kendrick's Comet got so much bigger since Melodic Blue, and there is the cosign of like, yo, this is Kendrick's cousin. This is the guy that people allege Ghost wrote for Kendrick. And Kendrick since then has done, the greatest rap battle of all time. And then the GNX album, which was just, it slapped, it banged, it sounds so good. And so I think that then set up for the repeatability factor where you're like, okay, Keem is going to repeat, Range Brothers plus the GNX of it all and give us an album with full on just bangers. And he's been gone for 5 years, so he has a lot of banger material to go through. And I think that's where the brilliance of Casino is that it does kind of start with Casino, right? When Casino hits, you're like, oh yeah, we're in this pocket. And then you like right away Birds and the Bees, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. Like we're not in a mosh pit anymore. Cool, we'll get back. Oh, Kendrick on this out. Wait, oh, Good Flirts is not what? Oh, okay. So I think the gambling aspect of being at the slot machine and not knowing where you're gonna hit. And once you hit, like you hear that, I mean, literally you hear it in the album, but like also once you hit, then you're like, oh, I got that hit. And like John said, because it's a short product, you had to go back to it.
Yeah.
If this was like J. Cole double disc, hour and a half, it would not work at all, because then you're just like, dude, I have no money left, right? Like metaphorically, I have nothing left to gamble. But now this is the slot machine, the penny machine, where you're just like, yo, I feel like I won $1 million, even though you won 10. But the action of like hitting, I think that's where the casino of it all comes into play.
I do think like this album is sequenced so interestingly and so well that like you kind of like oh man, I'm a Lyricist was pretty rough, and then Sex Appeal shows up, like kind of like, so like you can, I feel like this wasn't a hard album to listen to over and over again, like all the way through. Like this is like pretty, for its heaviness, and like then the songs kind of reveal themselves to me of like I was like, Jesus Christ, Highway 95 is so awful, and then like the content of it is so awful, and then I'm like 95 highway, like I'm just like I'm super into it. And then also like I do think like the other thing is just like there was a meme that was on TikTok about this album. It was like, now I understand how Sabrina Carpenter fans feel. Like I feel this is the boy version of that. Like but I think like there's something to be said of like, hip hop started as like a party thing. It's just like kind of like to get the party going and get like kind of like embody this energy. And then, but I also think like hip hop is so good at this introspective societal, like looking at the micro, making a comment on the macro, that like pop can't really do. Like pop it could, but like it's much harder to do it in this way. And like the shape of a verse is you're able to like just like get this out much easier.
And just real quick, pop doesn't have a cultural anchor, right? Like hip hop has a cultural anchor, and so there's a unspoken or very well spoken understanding that this is culture speaking, that this is culture being displayed. And so when we think about like trauma, like as a culture, we are still living the trauma. And so I think that there's also that part of it where it's like it's hard to always digest that. Whereas with pop, there is no cultural anchor. And so you can just detach. It's like a gateway drug or like a party drug. You're just like, yo, I'm taking this Molly and it's like the last few hours, then it's over. And hopefully I'm not gonna deal with any consequences after the fact. But with hip hop as a cultural phenomena, it's not a party drug. It's food and you're digesting it constantly. And so that consumption, what you consume will also change your health, kind of your vital signs. And so I think Keem as a micro is kind of saying like, listen, I need to like release some of this stuff. And then as a culture, we sometimes struggle with the Mr. Morale and the 444s of it all, where, these artists that we kind of say like, these are our ways of getting away from whatever's happening on a day to day. They're kind of saying like, let me pull you back in on my level. And you didn't have to face that. And the Mr. Morale, like having to face that, like Edgar said, like post pandemic, when all you want to do is party and you go to your guy and your guy is like, are you happy for me? Like, it's just like, okay, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
No, I mean, I think like, off of that, are you happy for me thought, like something that I think is great about Keem, and I think you were saying this, Andrew, is he's so good at hooks. Like he's just really good at these like repeatable lines that like, even if it is like a very heavy song, like, or even just like, not even like even hooks, like I remember on Melodic Blue, he's like, see that bitch over there? She fucked OVO. See that? It's like, you just like, it just like stays in your head
Keem-isms,
forever.
like there's a lot of great Keem-isms. Yeah.
Yeah. Like and so I feel like even if it is a heavier track, he's able to make it, like I think you're saying, Stanley, like very digestible. I'm not trying to start anything.
Okay.
I'm picking up some sort of tension around J. Cole on this podcast. Like I feel like maybe I need to go back and listen to the Fall Off episode, but I feel like I'm sensing that J. Cole was a big topic of discussion.
I like the album. I like Side B a lot. I thought it was good.
Like, John, go ahead, John.
In short, what did Spike Lee say? Not my cup of tea.
I mean, I do think like it is relevant of just like for Fall Off for me, I did feel like J. Cole was trying to make more of like a party drug album, and I was just like, I don't believe you, bro. Like it did feel very much so like even though I like that song, is it the Let Out? Like where he's talking about like how dangerous things happen like after you leave the club. There was a part of me that even though I liked the track, I was like, but where are you in those situations? Like you are a multimillionaire rapper. Are you really in danger after the club? Like I just don't believe that to be true. And yeah, I don't know. Like I do think that off of what we're saying, it becomes harder and harder for an artist to be introspective the bigger and bigger they get, because their inside reflects our inside less and less. They higher they go. I think that that's something that I struggled with 444 was I was just like, yeah, this is introspective and deep, but you're also
bought that property. Oh,
exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I don't really like, and you're also like, your pitch to your wife for you guys to reunite is we're both Black millionaires and that's why we should. And that's not how I apologize to my girlfriend.
But Keem seemed like he was trying, or at least where he's coming from in this album is like he's trying to like maintain some like groundedness or like humbleness. I mean, he said in CIRCUS Freestyle, like, I don't want no rapper friends. I'm with the ghetto in my plans, or I'm in the ghetto in my plans. I was like, yeah, man, stay with the people.
Yeah, like some sort of authenticity that he's trying to hold on to.
It's hard though. Like you make all that money, then it's like you become sort of jaded to like your present day reality and like your in the relation to where you came from. I can imagine. I'm not
Mm.
no millionaire, so like help me, but like but but I at least feel like, you know, he's trying to maintain some sense of groundedness despite
Mm.
that.
I just want to get into like kind of two themes I wrote down here. Like I guess like three, but we could like section them off so I'm not like talking the entire time. Of just like one is just like America as a casino, I think, and then Baby Keem is a slot machine, or Baby Keem is a lottery winner or some sort. Where it's just like I think if this is such a fascinating album because you could look at it's very specific to a location, but then it applies to the world. It applies to like just like John was saying and Screwface John was saying of just like Vegas is like maximum opulence next to like the most disturbing poverty you've ever seen. And then
Mm.
like the idea that like for one person to hit it big, like millions, thousands have to suffer, have to like have their life savings drained for the casino to be upheld. And then like it's like an unfeeling system. It doesn't care. It doesn't like care about your begging. It doesn't care about that because you technically opted in. Um, so it's just like kind of like I think Baby Keem is kind of wrestling with like I'm the man of the house. Like I used to feel like a burden. Now I'm the slot machine. Now everyone's like
Mm.
looking at me differently. And I'm trying
Betting
like
on me.
yeah, betting on me. Like I took a lot of gambles to get here. People took gambles on me too. I think he's like reconciling with like, how did I even get here? Like, it's like, crazy that I got here. Like he's paying tribute to the black women in his life who've given him like, the grandma with like the piano and like
Mhm.
Connie with the getting him out the group home and such. And then like I also want to like kind of go down a rabbit hole in terms of like in the cover art, the parental advisory explicit lyrics are like pretty prominent. So I looked up the history of that like sticker. And it's been pretty like well-worn territory, but like, it started when like Tipper Gore found his
Mhm.
daughter like listening to Purple Rain and was like pretty disturbed by it.
Oh wow.
And then like Susan Baker, like another person, like was disturbed that her daughter was singing along to "Like a Virgin." So they formed the Parent Music Resource Center, where their stipulations was they wanted to create like a content like system like with movies, like E for Everyone or whatever.
MPAA.
Yeah. They wanted to do that. But they also wanted to have like song lyrics printed on the album covers, records with obscene lyrics or covers to be like hidden away in the record store, for people to like reconsider their relationship to like artists promoting sex and violence and demonic things and such. And then they settled on the parental advisory sticker. Um, and like the group was like pretty upset about it, but the RIAA said, quote, explicit is explicit. There's no right or wrong characterization. And the music industry refuses to take the first steps towards a censorship that creates a master bank of good, bad words or phrases or thoughts or concepts. Where I think like there's something to be said about like we should protect kids from like hypersexual, hyperviolent content. Like that's like we should have some barriers with that. Like we can't just. But then also it gets into like censorship issues of just like who gets to determine what's profane and what's like not valuable and such. And then also like this kind of led to like black art being um scapegoated in a way, like the bad words and like all these things being scapegoated, like NWA and what's it called?
Two Live
Live
Crew.
crew.
Yeah, Two Love. Yeah. They're like they're being like, and like I think there's a I was reading that I actually like read like a academic paper about it. It's just like this idea of like the quote here is like initial concerns were raised in terms of the protection of youth from rock and heavy metal in the 1980s, but soon shifted towards rap and hip hop in the early 1990s. Whether intended or not, the effects of the shift across racial lines were and are real in their perceptions. Until today, negative perceptions associated with rap music are indeed informed by media reports that demonize and at times literally criminalize rap and its culture, even though research shows that the participation in the music is a way out of a life of crime. So basically, like I say all this to say, like, Baby Keem, in his lived experience as a child, there was no parental advisory boundaries in his real life. Like, he was not
Right.
protected from his uncle or um, like his uncle. Basically, he was not protected. His mom was not protected
His
from
mother's
abuse.
addiction.
Yeah, like his
Yeah.
mother, like just
Like
like
literally in the Boo Man documentary, like they were about to go out on the 21st birthday. Like I think they were like taking shots, and he's just like right there,
Right.
Yeah.
crying. No,
Right.
I dig that, Andrew.
yeah. And then, but it's also like the most beautiful shot of this album, like the documentary is like baby Keem like bouncing around listening to Ludacris, and then
Yeah.
the parallel to like he gets the Grammy from Ludacris. So like the explicit lyrics of "Bitch Move Out the Way" was the spark that like got him out of his situation. So it's like
Wow.
it's a portrait of it's like a portrait of a young man who grew up without parental advisory, and an ode to the black women who saved his life, an ode to the music that like you know saved his life too. So I think that's it. So
I mean, if we're going to talk about, maturity of an artist, Andrew, I mean, I just met you two gentlemen. Y'all are very thoughtful, and yeah, I've really enjoyed hearing y'all perspective. Andrew, this podcast has completely changed since the last time I was on it. Last time I was on it, it was buns. No, I'm just kidding. But I know that you went through like a lot of changes, right? Like you had a co-host that, like, like I think went away, and then I used to like do like guest hosts and stuff like that. And I'll be completely honest, when I walked away from podcasting, so did my listenership. So I have not been checking in on this podcast, but out of all the podcasts that I were around, you're still here and like still doing your thing. And I think that in and of itself is an evolution.
Go.
thank
Need
you.
that.
Wow.
Clap it up.
Any other thoughts on themes, or like just like expand on what I just said, or anything like that?
I do think, like, if I could talk a little bit on the casino part of it, I'm definitely not like Baby Keem level of successful, but something that, me and another writer were talking about on the show is when white people make it, they don't feel that same sort of, and not all, like, it's not a universal thing, but I think that like they often don't feel that sort of pressure. Like I remember my reps would be like, you make like, oh, you're making this year. And like, the truth of it is that I'm not only making that, some of that might go to my mom, or some of that might go to my dad, or some of that might go to some Haitian person that I've never met that for some reason they're like, hey, send this to this person. But like, I think that this idea that he's a slot machine is I think people of color, and I think like, probably Andrew, you felt this as well, is like, our success is tied to so much more than just ourselves in a way that sometimes feels unfair.
To like take full, like own the success, like as a sole person. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like you want to give back to other people, you want to, and like it can almost like not be like enjoyable anymore. I remember like Kanye had that really great track about his cousins like hitting him up for money, and then like having one cousin try to sell his laptop because it had sex tapes on it and all that. And like you hate that cousin, but also understand like that cousin was probably in like a really desperate situation where he had to make those kinds of moves. And it just felt like I could really feel Keem reflecting on, this is dope. I'm enjoying this. Fuck, this also came with like a lot of pain and a lot of reflection and like a lot of like guilt. I know me, myself, something that I always think about, and I'm trying to break this down in therapy, but I always wonder like how much of my parents putting pressure on me to kind of go to the certain institutions that I went to paid off for me to be where I am, where other kids who didn't have that. And like it's like, we talk shit about white privilege, but I also think that there is like, a certain class privilege that can happen in blackness, or certain, like, both my parents are immigrants, and that's a different thing than someone who might have grown up from, the more traditional African American diaspora. Like, I think we don't talk about those things. And anytime we do start talking about those things, people get very defensive, but it's something that I really struggle with. In a UCB class, I remember there was a lot of people when they talk about UCB is like an improv school out in Los Angeles, and like a lot of people talk about like I was the only black guy in my improv class. That was not the case for me ever. There were always other black people. And I remember in one of the levels, it's like the level where you start having to do like additional coaching outside so the cult can keep making money off of you. And but like there was this dude who was in the class, 6'6", black dude who played at JUCO in Southern California, taking improv classes because probably watched Scary Movie and was like, I want to be funny and like I like these things. And he was like, hey, I got a house. We could all practice at my house. It's a lot of space, da da da. And they were like, nah, we're good. Then they came over to me and they were like, hey, Edgar, do you want to be in our coaching group? And I was like, I'm broke. And they were like, we'll pay for you. I'm like, this dude is offering his house. But he's 6'6". He's got tattoos. He feels a certain way to y'all. Y'all can tell that I like Seinfeld. And y'all are like, hey, do you want to be the black guy in our group? And I feel like a lot of weirdness about that in my fucking head. And I not to project all the way over on Baby Keem, but I do think that there are those things where you start questioning, why did I end up in the place that I am? What a part of it is a system that's working for me to succeed this way? Is it also the same system that is keeping people who look like me down? And you just start feeling a ton of guilt along with, any success.
He's also like, he is talented. Like he is talented. He is exceptional.
Unlike me, I hear you.
Like, no, like you wrote Masturbator. That's pretty good. But like he's like I think he's also wrestling with like like in the documentary is Kendrick actually said something along the lines of like, I have like hundreds of cousins and friends who rap and do music. He was the best one, and I picked him. So like in the Kendrick like lottery, like the Kendrick family lottery, like those two got the tickets. And then like there's also a basketball player in his family too. Like but like I don't know any of that.
Kendrick noticed the talent, but even when he was little, like everyone around them were like, this our way out right here, little boom. He's the one, he's a little baby genius. So it's like, not only did they like kind of chart that for him verbally, but like if you grow up hearing that, then there's almost like a element of like your own constitution that starts to form around that. It's like, I'm about to be I'm gonna be that one. And then like if you are around your uncles or cousins that are rapping and that's just culturally relevant, you're gravitating toward that, so you're like fusing like the culture with what your family is like already saying you're gonna be. So I feel like that's like a very natural progression to a little nerdy kid who likes music and starts playing with beats, especially when grandma gives him a piano. Like so I do think that like despite circumstances, you have to acknowledge like that little bit of good no matter what. And like and how much, and I guess that's where it like weighs on him, right? Like how much is it his responsibility to slot in when that sort of recuperation is needed from a family member? And like, it is, or does it need to be transactional in that way? Like, do I owe somebody just because they were bigging me up for the past 15 years? Like, you didn't put me in like rap class. Like I learned how to do that shit on my own. Like, so I mean, these are good questions. I don't have any answers, but
okay, Justin Hunt. Like Justin Hunt says, I don't have the answers to these questions. Like, anyways.
Yeah, it's like a conversation about extremes, and I think the macro is that America as a system or as a social exercise has purposely created an extreme for what we would call African Americans or for the Black population in America. And so then when in the micro of that system, there are people who then reach the other level, so a Baby Keem or a LeBron or whoever else, then it's like you then almost feel that, yeah, that responsibility of like, okay, well, I now was able within this against all odds machine, use my talent to propel myself at the highest level. And then I look back and see that nobody else is getting that same type of propelling, because outside of being extremely gifted, most other communities just kind of follow a pathway and they get a moderate level of success, right? Like there's like a middle class of it all. But if you're only working within the extremes, then that stretches you out too, right? So it's like you're constantly stretched within the emotion of, I made it, and the emotion of, oh shit, I made it. You know what I mean? And so I think he is battling with this a lot. And I think Kendrick, when he said like, and I know we shouldn't be talking about Kendrick, this is about Keem, but when Kendrick and Mr. Morale was saying like I'm not your savior, he was saying that. He was saying like, hey, Black America, like I can't be that one because I'm not the one who created that system. Like look at the people who created the system and tell them like you have a responsibility towards us to give us what we're owed. And so I'm not going to be that savior because I can't. I literally can't be. And so I think that Keem isn't trying to be a savior on a big scale, but I think he feels that same pull on the smaller scale. And it's harder to say no to the ones that raised you than say no to the ones that pay you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there's that kind of I think battle.
Just one more thought. Like, I think also the extremes of blame and responsibility of like, who do I
Hmm.
blame? What am I responsible for? Like the mentions of blame in this album are like the Uncle Andre line about like how he blames himself for that. Maybe I can't help but bear blame. I should have gotten help when the resources came. Two, in Casino, if I ever did you dirty, would you even blame me? So it's like I'm a product of my environment, like so I can't be blamed. And then like I don't blame you, mama. How could I blame you, mama? I cry and blame myself for all the shit that fell upon us. So ultimately, the fucked up thing, the fucked up note this album ends on is like I blame myself for all of it. It's all me. Like my mom is not to blame for any of this, and like I'm responsible for like all, he feels a great sense, maybe not for all of it, but he feels a great sense of responsibility. And I think like it's also wrestling with like you can't blame your mom for your circumstances because she was dealing with her own pain. You can't blame America. You can blame America, but America will not take accountability. And then I think this album is like asking you to sit in this uncomfortable grief of no clear answers. Like I think that's why it's so hard. Like this is the Mr. Morale of it all. Like, are you happy for me? Like that's the thing that's really fascinating about this album. Like the note it ends on.
Yeah, I think that that's why in some ways it feels incomplete, right? Like I think that like it feels very much like a part one. I mean, something that I've always joked about is that therapy to me is like in three parts. Like part one is you go, oh, my parents did all of these things, right? And then you like blame your therapist. But then part two is going, and now I'm doing them too. And I'm doing them to other people and I'm repeating those things. But then part three is what am I going to do about it? And like I think that a lot of people end up either stuck in part one or part two. Like, you know, like a lot of people end up stuck in part one where they walk away and they go, it's my mom's fault, which is like, sure, but now you're 45 and like you can't really keep blaming her. And like then the people who suck in part two where they just become very defeatist and like very like, fuck, I'm fucked up and I have problems and they wear those problems on their sleeves. But there is a thing to be done about it, I think, within your own personal structure, which I'm trying not to talk about Kendrick, but I do think he does in Mr. Morale in the song Mirror, is he chooses himself and to focus on himself because that's the thing that he can control. And from there, he can then outreach to the community and do more things. But if he tries to save the world, he won't save anyone, including himself. And I think that that's a little of this album that feels incomplete to me is he is taking on a lot of responsibility for things that I would argue aren't his. He was a fucking kid. There was nothing he could have done to save his mom. It's very hard to hear, but I just don't think that there was anything he could have done. He was a child.
And I think he's still young now.
Mm.
I feel like there's almost a reason why this feels like a part one. Like this feels like after was it No Blame? Like that's the intermission. So like you know, obviously we can't like future project what Keem is to do next, but I think that there, at least I'm hopeful for like some sort of resolution or like that part three that you mentioned, Edgar, like some sort of reconciliation with both of part one and part two, but
Yeah.
to be determined, I guess.
Yeah. I think like the one last point is just like it's kind of it's hard though because it's like it feels like a setup though. Like your parents were raised in an environment that some behavior was okay and they imparted onto you and now you're responsible for it. Like it feels a little bit like a setup at the same time. It feels like really it's like it like I know like the saying in therapy, it's like it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Like that sucks. Like it sucks that like you're the one who has to do it. Like you're the one who has to like and also is that applicable to every single circumstance? Like I don't think it isn't. Like right? It's like yeah, I think that's it like if I made a pie chart of like the percentages of who to blame for my suffering. How much is my fault? How much is someone else's fault? How much is society, man? If I like made an invoice and like just like got them sent out, like would that heal me? It probably wouldn't. So I think it's just like, man, you're at the end of the day, you're just a person and you just have to like sit with all this.
Oh no, I'm about to send the emotional reparations check. Let run my check.
But I mean, like getting Miss Morale, like I choose me, right? So there is a choice to be made here, and despite all of what is happening on a big scale and how the setup took place, for Keem, right? Like, I mean, society set him up, his family set him up, but at some point, like, no matter who you are, you do have to then choose to do something about it. And I think the option is simple, the execution is extremely hard.
Mm.
Just like most things in life are pretty simple. Like we all know like what you're supposed to do and how to be a good person, but the execution of that is so challenging when you are flooded with emotions and contradictions and walls that prevent you from moving forward in your simplicity. Like there's just a lot of things, a lot of barriers that are there, but at the end of the day, all you can really do is just shut the fuck up and try your very best. Like that's all we can really do as individuals. And I think like as we reference Kendrick, I can't help but think about my guy, Mr. West, because what made Mr. West so good was that he did all of those three acts all the time. Like he was constantly like allowing us to think of the big scale, like who are the different kind of influences, allowing us to think about the responsibility you have, and then being out in the real world and actually being like, I'm gonna fucking change it. Like he actually was like, I'm gonna go on that stage and change something. I'm gonna go on that telethon and change something.
And it drove him
And
mad.
not
Like
yeah, and like not a lot of us get the opportunity to do on that scale. And I think that's where it became so hurtful is like when he had the world in his hands, like he then decided to do the worst things with that, power. But the idea of us in our smaller stadiums holding court and saying like, yo, I'm gonna just do this, and then here I am doing it. Because the here I am doing it is a part that makes us either feel like we're holding back or feel like we're excelling in life. And I think that the measurement of excellence needs to change. And a lot of times it's through financial gains, right? Like, is your movie the biggest movie? Is your record the biggest record? Are you getting the most Grammys? And these are all kind of financially tied or motivated markers, but it should really just be like, Keem, like, are you healing? And if you're healing,
Yeah.
then it's a success.
Yeah, I think that that's where like I would like, you're right that it drove him mad, but I would argue that Kanye wasn't choosing himself. Like I think that when you hear about some of the efforts that he was putting into, like let's say, what's it called, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he had four rooms, right? He had like the beats room, the album image room, the record room, and he was like going between and he wasn't sleeping and stuff like that. So in that pursuit of greatness, like you're saying, Stanley, he wasn't taking care of himself, and we watched his mental health deteriorate, right? He stopped taking his meds. He's not eating right. He starts doing nitrous and all these kinds of things. And thus they have an effect on him. And I think there are such simple things that I could be doing every day that would probably make me feel better that I don't because I spend so much time thinking about these macro issues. Like a small thing that's just like 5 minutes every day, just like doing meditation. Instead, I'll spend 15 minutes doom scrolling. And it's just like, I think that that's what choosing yourself means. It's like, doing that one small thing, going for a run when it feels hard, or choosing to eat, a salad instead of the Big Arch from McDonald's. I'm sponsored by them, so I had to mention that. Big Arch available now. It's a new sandwich. Just take one bite. That's all you got to do. But
doesn't have to be big.
yeah, no, I think like Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big one. Just a nice little small bite. But like, yeah, I think like that's what choosing you looks like. It's not saving the world. It's like because I think that those actions have ripple effects. Like I think if we just thought a lot smaller, if we thought about local elections instead of only presidential elections, if we thought about the person next door instead of like, trying to save everyone. Like I don't know. I'm not saying that not to do all of those things. I'm not arguing for incrementalism. I think it's just you got to put on your own oxygen mask first, I guess.
That's the gambling on yourself. Like in the I'm not a lyricist song of like it's obviously like I think it's in reference to like, him being successful and like him like actually like gambling on his success and then going double or nothing over and over again. But like we kind of don't like the future in terms of like a better future is not guaranteed. It's like it's kind of like, is this the way that's gonna work? I don't know. Let's gamble on it. So I think that's interesting too. Let's take a quick break and get into highlight songs. Click. And we're back here to talk about Casino. Let's talk about some highlight songs. What are some highlight songs from this album? Like, I guess like start with like just like kind of the way this works is you just like pick one song and then like that's a highlight and then we'll talk about it and then we could all go around and like, yeah, share.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna go House Money for me, just because I assume that other people are gonna pick some other things. So I'll be nice and save them. But like again, my craving for bangers, I think like I obviously wanted to pick I Know lyricist, but like I think like House Money is just like a really fun track, and like I perform improv, and I'm always thinking about like, oh, what would be a fun walkout song that I think like House Money would be like a
Takis
real
was talking
fun
about
one
the
to
same
get
thing.
the
Like last
yeah.
House Money on a house team.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I think like that track just like feels so fucking fun and so fucking energetic, and like it just kind of once the album like slows down a little bit, just like picks you right back up and keeps you going through it. Almost like you guys are saying, like it's like that you're about to walk away from the casino table and it's just like, oh, hold on, you made $5. And you're like, okay, I can keep gambling a little bit. And so I really eny that aspect of
He's
the
a
track.
Drake.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, House Money's fun. Like, once again, Keem bringing like the fun out of Kendrick. That like, welcome to the party, like just like that sort of delivery and like swagger. I really love on that song, and like, I feel like that song has those Keem-isms as well. Like, I'm just walking around the house singing, I'm
like
a
that
dumbass
part.
bitch. I like my bitch dumber. Like, what are you talking
Yes.
about? I'm dumb too. I feel the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something in the PgLang sauce that just makes listening to these albums so addicting and so like re-listenable over and over again.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think like it's interesting that this song's called House Money too. It's like, because I think in like a capitalist society, like the house always wins. Like we're always kind of like investing and trying to like win the lottery, and then like regardless of if we win or lose, the house always wins. But like I think it's interesting to view it from the perspective of PgLang of like we built our own house, and like I'm betting with House Money because I'm like under the number one guy, and like so I'm bet even if this flops, I'm still kind of protected. I'm still kind of like
Right, because I'm up. Yeah.
The videos are going to be fire. They're going to be like the upper echelon of execution. Like, not to like divert from the track itself, but I think when we're just thinking about that PgLang umbrella, everything is so tailor made, and like,
Yes,
it really speaks that they gave Keem the quality that you would think or associate with Kendrick. It's like we want this guy to blow and like have that same sort of tailored experience as well as an artist.
Yeah, I remember Vince Staples at one point, or maybe it was Earl, talking about like when you make music nowadays, and this was definitely in the 2010s, that you have to think about not only the track, but what the video is going to look like, what the rollout's going to look like. It's an entire package. And I think like you're saying, PgLang has this like, very specific packaging. Like everything feels crisp, everything feels cool. It reminds me of almost like a more mature Odd Future, like in that like there's a consistency into how everything looks. It's a lot more polished and not as like raw and as crazy as Odd Future was. But like maybe Brockhampton also comes to mind of like the branding is just so on point. And like, yes, it's all commercial shit, but like I always love when branding feels almost like not a brand, if you know what I mean. Like when like you're like, oh, that's Kirkland's signature, you're going, oh, okay. But like when it's just like, ooh, this is like I'm cool for like being in this like PgLang has that feel to it where you want to be a part of it. Like you want to like I would love a PgLang like opportunity because it just feels like a cool place to be. I feel like they've really nailed that aesthetic, and I agree that like that House Money video, if they end up doing one, would be fucking fantastic. And Dave Free is on like a fucking directing heater right now, in my opinion.
Shout out Dave Free.
I think like the guy who actually directed the video is like Jake Shire, but it's like it still feels like a Dave Free thing. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So the video is out. See, I'm old.
Wait, it's that's not that video.
That's
Birds and the
Good
Bees is
Flirts.
out.
Oh, Birds and the Bee. Oh, that video is fantastic.
Yeah, and also Good Flirts is like I think but yeah, it's like
I
all
like
the
the Good
same.
Flirts video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like they're like a high fashion house, like an LVMH, and Kendrick's like Louis Vuitton, but then there's other brands that fall under, but there's still that signature. And I mean, he says it right, like he a dove, she a bus, and I'm godly. Like him to make that declaration in this, it's almost like a reminder to people, like, yo, I'm Kendrick Lamar. Like I am still the standard, the golden standard post, anything that I guess like who was in the last standard? Was it Ye? Was it Jay? Whoever it was beforehand. Now he's the standard. And so everyone that gets, the opportunity to be in that PgLang sauce, like you're getting that chef's kiss no matter what. And I also love like the 50 inspired chorus in this because it's like it's that 50 Cent song about Ja Rule and them like I smell pussy. Is that you, Ja? Is that you? So that also like gives you a little bit of that House Money. I'm still kind of fucking with the beef, and what do I smell here? Oh, never mind. You know what it is. And so I kind of like that playfulness, especially because the first time you get Kendrick on this is Good Flirts, which is a highlight for me. And Good Flirts, I like the idea. Like all of these titles really play into like the motif of the album because with Good Flirts, it's like, yeah, they're flirting with us. Like they're flirting with the audience who wants like another,
Family
what's the
Range
song?
Brothers, Family Ties.
Family ties, right? Like, yeah, they're expecting that. So now they're gonna wink at us and be like, oh, actually, I'm not gonna give you that beat that slaps so hard. I'm just gonna do that suave thing. And you're kind of the whole time you're waiting, right? You're waiting for, and the best type of flirting is that, right? Where it's like you're creating this anticipation without knowing if there is gonna be a delivery on said, promise. And so there's that kind of like, game that's being played, and the track is just everyone on it is smooth. And I think sometimes you just need that. You don't need to have a crazy vocal performance. You just need one that's in a pocket that resonates throughout. And I think everyone is in their pocket on this. Yeah.
Tone, like pocket and tone, like
Yeah.
Momo, boy, come on. Shout out
Beautiful.
Infinity Song.
Infinity Song. Yep, exactly. She's breaking out. It's so simple. She's only got that one little line in the chorus, but it's like perfectly like in the song, is like has the right timbre and everything. And yeah, the flirt, like Kendrick coming on there, like touching on your booty. Kissing on your booty.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And shit, I gossip with my bitch like I'm Young Thug too.
Thug
Like that,
too.
that like playful.
Yes.
Oh, it's just so smooth and like unserious. Like Range Brothers and Family Ties, that's serious. Like we could peel it back a little bit and just like let's just cool out with Good Flirts.
I mean, it's also like, like you guys are saying, sticking to the motif. A flirtation is a risk, right? Like it is like you don't know if it's going to land. Like you're shooting your shot. She might be down, she might not be down. And there's like also putting Momo Boyd on the track is a risk, right? Like he could have went and gotten a SZA or Rihanna, someone who's like more of a certified hit, but he's taking a chance on an artist who is most famous from her family band and like giving her first shot, which I don't know if anyone has watched Infinity Song videos on YouTube. They are amazing. Their covers are so
They're so
fucking,
good, yeah.
they're the most talented family, I guess, since I don't know, I'm maybe crazy for this, but like they feel like Jackson 5 to me, like that. Like they all are
Whoa.
fucking out. They all are talented. They can all play instruments and sing. It's fucking crazy. Like and so like it's a risk to put her on this thing, but like her stock's going up. Like I feel like if she were to drop her single, she'd get some heat from it because of how well she's doing on the song,
I
even
think
though it
it's
is a
coming.
small part.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I think like this is an interesting song in terms of like Kendrick is the positive male role model in this album. Like he's the kind of the, he starts the song, you used to call my phone on a Friday night, like kind of just sad and like longing and yearning and such. And then Momo comes in like kind of teasing him and like kind of like tort I feel like the way like Keem uses it's not the exact same, but like what the way Keem uses Momo is the way like Drake utilizes Rihanna, where they feel like equals a
Mm,
little bit. Like that's the one time like they kind of feel like equals. And then like Kendrick shows up and then shows like a more healthy flirtation, and like the most of the album is like him going like this weird Freudian thing of just like, let me tell you about the worst thing me and my mom endured, and then let me talk about this woman who's nothing to me. Like just like kind of this like this aggressive, aggrieved entitlement thing. That's that, and then like Kendrick here, like having this healthy flirtation, having this fun, easy, relaxed thing, and then the song ending with the Keem hook again of just like but me 25-year-old, I'm still lonely. I'm still sad. I'm still yearning. I think that's a fascinating thing. So it's a difference between a
well,
38-year-old and a 25-year-old. Like that, like the two verses here. So
well, isn't it like always frustrating, like, and like that this is not happening to me, but like the stereotype that you get hit on more when you're in a relationship, right? And like what that actually is that you're not trying as hard, right? Like I think that like women can really feel when a nigga is trying. Like when you roll up to her in the club and like you're just like, hey, what's going on? And they can be like, this nigga wants to fuck tonight. Like it's not attractive. It's not fun. Like it's not, and like I think that Momo's like asking, like, don't you just like when it's flirting, when there is no expectation? When look, it could happen, it could not happen. And that makes it easy. That makes it more palatable to go down. Like I think, when I was dating after being in a relationship for 6 years, that was like a quick lesson I learned was like everyone is down, but the more you be like, yo, so we fucking at the it's like okay, I'm gonna go home. Like everyone wants to like be like, do we want to go to drinks on a Friday night? The ability for me to say no is the most attractive thing. The ability for you to not take this seriously is what's attractive about it.
Casino the song. It's a big highlight. Just a great like the 1-2 punch of No Security to Casino. Just like, oh, we're doing this now. And just like the drop, the way the end with like bye, like another great chemism. Like he sounds like so tough while sounding like the squeaky teen voice guy from The Simpsons. Just like that character. Yeah, I think it's just like a great the Pylori line is like who even thinks of that? Like it's just like, and he's also just like stunting his maturity too. It's just like I took the time, the 5 years to like you might have like 6 Rolexes, but like, I took the time to process a few of these things, like
Mhm.
Yeah, that's that line where he says it's an incredible feeling to face all your fears. And then like the
Mm.
dissection and the kind of the construction of that throughout the album. But in this moment, and it's misleading, right? Because like he's like almost giving us what we were thinking right away. So you're like, oh shit, like that beat drop, like perfect. The beat switch, perfect. The build up with the drums, and then bye, like that whole execution is. It's like going to Vegas. Like I remember I went to Vegas for the first time, and I walked into a casino, and you're just like, holy fuck! Like this is not real life. Like this is not real. And
Mm.
so, I can picture the no security of like just driving down the boulevard and kind of seeing like the lights from afar. And then once you actually go in and the casino hits and the slot machines are hanging and the drinks are flowing and there's just smoke in the air, you're just like, am I in like a different planet? It just is the perfect setup to what will happen next. And so it's a banger of a track. It's a great song. And yeah, I mean it's Keem. Like only Keem does this.
And then also like this is a song about like him cutting off his dad basically who abandoned him. And it's like his dad didn't hold on to the Baby Keem stock. Like he didn't invest. He didn't
Mm.
like pull the slot. His grandma paid out for it. Like she did
Totally
lose
did.
in the documentary. She lost her money from the slot machine, and then but she held on to the that's such a crass way to say it, but like she like invested in Baby Keem and it paid out, and she got a house that she got to spend her last years in a nice house, and then like
Mm.
his dad who didn't invest is like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Oh, you done? What's a highlight for you?
Circus freestyle. Who just like nigga, just like that weird free associating that he's doing at the top of that, and like in terms of the delivery, I got all sorts of like different rappers that like went across my brain. I was thinking like Gambino, Tyler, honestly like David Diggs a little bit, just like clipping vibes, and then his ability to this is a masterclass. It's a masterclass in flow. It's a masterclass in using your voice in the way that I think Lupe was describing when it comes to like tone and how you like stretch phrases, and like is to me, that's where he shines the most. There's levity, but there's seriousness. Just so many gears. And then I also like how he like referenced being a genre bender, and then like he like has the weird like indie pop song that comes right after it. It's like he this is the if I didn't know who, if I went to an investor meeting and I didn't know who Keem was, and someone was trying to sell me on Keem stock, I'm going all in, baby. This is it. We go to the moon. But no, it's so cool. I like how he like kind of has this like standard kind of triumphant type beat that is his thing, with the Range Brothers, and like he kind of gets back to it on this, and but then gets into the weird zone. I feel like somebody compared him to like Miles, like the troll rapper, when he was getting into the wooga wooga woo.
Booga wooga, yeah.
You coulda woulda shoulda who, like it, just to be able to bring that comedy and like show your expertise. Hey, you got me. I'm in.
Yeah, I remember showing someone Baby Keem, and one of their biggest complaints was his high voice. And I think that one of his biggest assets is that he owns it. He's not trying to ever like deepen it. And if it is, it's for emphasis to like make fun of someone like in that Booga Wooga line or anything like that. But like, I think, again, not to bring it back to Drake, but Keem's never trying to prove us that he's anything that he's not. I think he very much so wears his influences on his sleeve, and like is so okay being himself that it's just so fucking enjoyable and more fun than I think some of like the later Drake discography, which is Drake is so hard, like he's trying so hard to convince us that he's a gangster, and I don't believe him. I don't know if you guys believe him, but like I think Keem is like, no, I'm a little baby kid, and that's who the fuck I am, and rapping is fun for me.
I done cut a lot of nigga when my grandmama died.
Yeah. It's so
much.
ridiculous, but it's so fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Playboy Cardi for good boys is my joke. Just like like all the different voices, and just like, but his fan base is so like scum basically. So yeah, I would say I love the what's it called, the line about like his mom's house being colonized. Such a beautiful like it's a great line. You know who else was down bad reflecting after taking the vaccine? Nicki Minaj's cousin and his balls.
Oh,
Huge.
huge.
I honestly like. Huge ball. No, I don't know what we're doing. I like initially cringed at that line, but then I stopped taking it literally. Like I honestly kind of just took it as like a signifier of the time. Like he had to just in general like step away. Like I wasn't getting anti-vax
Right.
after a couple of listens.
No, I know. I think people kind of took. I think it literally happened, but I don't think that he was making a statement of, "Hey, I shouldn't have taken the vaccine." I think he was kind of saying like, "I almost died when I took that vaccine." Like that's just what happened. Like he almost died, and it can happen, right? Like he's like nothing is assured or guaranteed, and so that can happen, and you can still say like, "I'll take the vaccine again if given the opportunity or the choice." Like. But I think he's such a good producer, and so I think that's a big part. I think the documentary really helped with Kendrick kind of pointing out like his melodies, his production value is so top tier that it made him stand out from all the other ones that were like, oh yeah, I have an ability to rap as well. Like, and you can see with this, like who produces that? Like, dur, 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 and it's like, oh, like all that shit that's happening, and then he flips the beat, and you're like, wait, what? Am I in Rome right now? Like, why is this so like triumphant with the trumpets and like it's gladiator type like music that we're walking into this pit to fight and he's gonna win. Like it's just a really it's a circus. Like it does sound like a circus in many ways. And his production, his ear is really, really sharp.
I also think, like, I'm really buying into John's theory about this being a part one and like that there's something coming because with the vaccine thing, he's a kid. Like, we should not be listening to COVID advice from him. Like, he should be able to talk about his experience and we just take it as that. Like, if anyone is being like, yo, Baby Keem almost died from the vaccine and that's why I didn't take it, that's on that person, in my opinion. Like, that's crazy. It's a fucking child.
Oh man.
One more about this, and this has come up on the pod, but sometimes rappers just be flexing on you, and in a way that's kind of offensive. Like he said, you be switching states for a cheaper living, man. To each his own. It's like sometimes the cost of living is just too high. Keem. You gotta find new places to live. Like I am a honest man working an honest job, and that shit is real. So, yeah.
Uh, I like yeah, just like great produce. I think this is the Kanye influence of like just like the pattern recognition and then the pattern deviation that he's so good at. Like just like the way these are produced are just like, oh, the drum didn't come in on that time, and like, oh, this time there's a little piano, and there's this time there's an ad lib. Then you're so used
Mhm.
to a pattern, and then like it surprises you. It's so addicting. Yeah. Dramatic Girl is my another highlight. Just like I really love that song. It feels like um the lightness you feel after you express yourself vulnerably, and then the person is
Mhm.
still there is like a really beautiful song. It feels like it starts with like an early Kanye beat, then it transitions to a Pharrell beats. I like it sounds like Brockhampton too. Like the Brockhampton has most like light and just like joyous, like positive masculinity when it was that. Just the Shay, what's his name? Like Shay, like how do you pronounce the name? I don't even know.
A crew is how
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been saying it.
yeah. The swimming in the water like it's 3D. Like that part is just like scratches my brain the best way
Yeah.
Mhm.
possible. So
I mean, as like a, I don't know, certified unk who was getting crossfaded to Passion Pit in college, like
Okay.
this is really scratching that like old sort of vibe, and like I could
Mhm.
easily see this being a like summer kind of jam, like
Right.
as the warm season approaches. For those who are not in the West Coast, I feel like this was definitely in the summer day list. You know what I mean?
No, I'm actually sweating during this podcast. I was like, what are you talking about? Summer months approaching. It's here, brother. It's here.
No, it is not. Not everywhere. Yeah, this is a hit. Like this is a hit. Like he could do a whole like indie pop album and it'd be so good. Yeah, it's a just a really cool change of pace. And again, like it's a really great setup because it's like that circus freestyle where you just don't know where he's taking it. And then it's that breath of fresh air. And you kind of think like, all right, it's all done. We're good. This is resolved. Like we're having like a nice walk in the summer park. And then all of a sudden, no blame comes in, and you're like, wait, what? And then it ends. And so it's like that last little bit of like joy before we have to kind of be unresolved, questioning our existence and wondering if we did the right thing.
Really does feel like a midpoint of sorts, like, but
Yeah.
to be continued. I love this little breath of fresh air, man. Like, get Che a crew on the next album too. Like I don't know, vocally it's just like kind of what Andrew was saying when it comes to like the production and knowing like where a person's gonna slot in the best. Like a crew is not on this track like overly so. It's like the perfect amount for what the song needs.
It does kind of remind me of like that mixtape era of like I Am Not a Rapper or like those early like Drake mixtapes or even Kendrick mixtapes where it was just like they were
Cuddy
rapping
too.
over like
Yeah.
yeah, like they're rapping over like Grizzly Bear and like, you know, like MGMT and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, this is weird. Like my white friends listen to this song, but the rapper that I like is also rapping over it. Like it definitely did have that feel.
That era specifically, there was something just like so fun about the freedom to make that choice. Like that's what made at that time. That's what made listening to that so interesting. Is because it's like we never heard anything like this before. We didn't know we could do this. So it's like Keem didn't know that he could take that breath of fresh air until he stepped outside. So
Yeah, and now that you reference Cuddy, like yeah, there's definitely that kind of Cuddy feel to all of this, and in that like Cuddy too, like Cuddy was the king of melodies, and Cuddy knew how to play in different genres and like bring out the best type of vocals for that type of genre, and it felt like it was only him that can be in that pocket, and Cuddy too like had that kind of influence expectation of someone who's established in the kind of the hip hop pop world and then having to then kind of carve their own lane and being successful at it. And you know, so I think they have that parallel. I think Keem is a bit more kind of flexible in some ways. I think what happened with Cuddy is that pocket was that pocket, and it kind of became less digestible. Whereas I think Keem has the potential to kind of almost like continuously
Crossover,
reimagine the menu, so to speak, and then offer you different types of, you know, food options while still giving you that quality that you're expecting. But the food you're consuming might be different. Whereas Cuddy, like by Man on the Moon 3, you're kind of like, okay, like I kind of get where your pocket is, and it's going to be that, and it's great, but it doesn't give me another sensation.
I also think that Cuddy or Keem has a better partner. Like, right? Like I think that Kendrick doesn't necessarily have Baby Keem ghostwrite for him, but I do think that Keem very clearly influences his music. But Cuddy, unfortunately, as we know with Kanye, had to put all of his soul into 808s and Heartbreak. And like, how do you then go on to like make your own project after that when you're giving so much of your sound to someone else? Where it doesn't sound like Kendrick has that expectation for Baby Keem. Like Baby Keem's very much so allowed to be himself.
And then like after Ye, like he couldn't find like a good partner to like really make his music with again. Like the wizard, I suppose. You know, I don't know.
oh man, don't laugh at Wizard. We stand by Wizard on this side.
No, but it's true, right? Like every Kanye album is like so influenced by whoever he's like around at the time. And like, yeah, it does sound like Baby Keem doesn't have that responsibility to Kendrick Lamar. Like Kendrick isn't like, what's cool with the kids right now? Help me with my album in the way that Kid Cudi, Sci-Hi, The Prince, Rhyme Fest had to do for Ty Dolla $ign had to do for Kanye, yeah.
Well, let's just quickly clarify something here that
okay, here we go.
While yes, Ye did tap into people's kind of abilities, it was as if he was like grasping at straws. I'm like, man, I need a help. I need a hit. Rhyme Fest, give me a hit. Like he certainly was like, yo, Rhyme Fest, like I need help writing. But then he was able to tap into what Rhymefest does best and then make it this like world. He took what Cudi did great and then made 808s a world. So Kanye's a world builder. The other artists are like the engineers behind that world building, but it's still he's still the world builder. So I just wanted to say that.
Stanley. I want to let you know something about myself. I am the biggest Kanye defender in the world.
Yes.
I retired on Kanye way too late. Like we won't even talk about one, but it was too late.
That's
so
fair.
I understand what you're saying. I'm not coming for Kanye. I'm just saying Kendrick is a better part. Like that's all. I understand Kanye is this. Yeah. But like you're right. Kanye did
that's what we need in 2026 is to defend him right now.
Like
he needs our help. He needs our soldiers.
It was Donda was when I was like, okay, I love this album, but what you said, I can't defend.
Yeah,
But I'm listening to this album in my closet.
yeah, I love that album.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess we should talk about the deeper songs, kind of like just like as a collective, I suppose. Like just like what do you think? What's your favorite of like kind of the more deeper, sadder, more introspective songs?
I think I'm Not a Lyricist is probably going to be my favorite one, only because I had to re-listen to it 3 times to be sure that it wasn't Andre 3000 and on that end part. Like it really blew my. I was just like, wait, did he get Andre 3000 to feature on this track? And I was like, I don't know if it is. I like the internet has confirmed that it's him, but I'm like, how did he get this sound? Like I didn't know that Baby Keem was capable of rapping like that. So I think like that track would have to be my favorite of the deeper ones.
Another child eats alone. That's like so like.
Can we list them out real quick? So I'm Not a Lyricist, Highway 95 Part 2.
We'll go no security, no blame.
No blame, no security. No security is good.
Yeah.
I might put No Security as number one for me out of the deep songs. I think it's a strong opener. I love that sample that kind of stretches and like you kind of evokes like time bending a little bit. And so melancholic and very confident delivery too to like open us up. Yeah, it makes me excited for the album, despite the
Nation coming soon. Like,
despite the content. But so yeah, I might give the edge to No Security. Honestly,
that's a great song. Yeah, it feels like this album feels a little bit like I don't like shit. I don't go outside a little bit. Just like
Oh,
like,
break that down for me.
I don't know. I don't know. Just like it's just kind of like I'm secluded. I'm like kind of some tragic stuff happened, and now I'm just like sitting here with my thoughts, and I'm like expelling them out. And this even though this took 5 years, it feels like it was made in a pretty short amount of time. It feels like it was kind of just like condensed. Like this is like a snapshot of what I'm going through, this dark time I'm going through.
And Keem's got those producer credits on every single track, so it makes it that much more intimate, that much more personal, less filtering between the listener and like what Keem's vision was. So I totally feel that, Andrew.
No, yeah, and in the way that like Earl, they're not that different sonically. Like Earl is very different than I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside, right? Like everyone was just like, oh my God, another Earl Sweatshirt album. And then you listen to the album, you're like, God damn, this nigga needs to go see a therapist. Like this shit's so fucking heavy. And like, yeah, no, I definitely see that comparison.
I'll just quickly mention with the I'm Not a Lyricist, like not only the Andre kind of sound, but also the production is like an interpolation of Outkast's Elevators.
Right.
Which is again super dope. They did that, and in that bar of like boy called a Cadillac sleeping in the hatchback, and that's on the same Outkast song. They talk about me and you could rolling down the street on the coming out slamming Cadillac door. So it's like the references are done in such a cool way. Like it's not just like a hey, I'm gonna be Andre, like, but it's also like hey, I'm inspired by Outkast. I think there's a lot of showcasing his musical inspirations throughout this album. I mean, obviously with Too Short being on this as well. Like, but that song in particular, I really love how he did that. But I would give the nod to No Security. I think No Security is one of the best tracks on the whole project. And because it does lay the foundation for what's to come. And you almost kind of forget about it because of how like that beat drop on Casino hits. But he's kind of saying like, y'all, this is not like, I mean, literally says I'm not for everybody. Like he's trying to lower that expectation of like, hey, although I'm making pop music, I'm not trying to popularize my sound for the masses. I'm doing something for me. Like this is really for me. So yeah.
So nobody got my back. I'm Not a Lyricist. Y'all all went, okay, that's cool.
I think like
that's cool. No, Andrew, don't cope. No. We good. We good. I'm standing on business over here.
Oh, geez. It's funny that you mentioned the Elevator song because I think there's an Andre hole people are trying to fill. I think there's like a gap in the culture that people are trying to fill. Just like there's like a Kanye hole that like, just like, okay, who's going to be the next guy who does what he did? It has to be like 10 guys doing all that. But like, there's like, with this, it's just like this and then J. Cole, like 2 weeks apart, like doing the J. Cole doing the elevators interpolation thing on that one song, which I think is an awesome version of that too. Like I think that song's awesome. And then like this like kind of I guess he's gonna play piano and flute, so I guess someone has to do what he did. So like
Do you don't think that JID fills that hole for y'all? Like
JID is a good
maybe
one. That's a great that's a great one too. Like there's some like
not for
childish
John, not for John, not for John. Talk to me, brother.
Man. Really quick, Andre just like the bar is just so high. Like,
Right. No, that's fair.
everyone is going to be a son or like a branch off from Andre. Like, like that hole will never be filled. It's like he did what
That's
he
real.
did. The Jay retired too. Like, we're not getting like those raps back. Like, we can
Yeah.
harken back to it, but it ain't happening.
Yeah.
You're right.
I do think like we have
Just
to
Andre. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think with Andre, it was just so effortless. I don't think he was like Jay was clearly trying to be the greatest rapper alive, and then he executed. Like, there was intentionality. Wayne was trying to then fill that void. Like, it was very obviously like, I'm next. Whereas Andre, like, I don't think Andre set out to be the greatest. I think
No.
Andre just is the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Like he just it just is what it is.
No.
And so I think with Keem using the I am not a lyricist titling to almost like downplay that attempt, knowing that if you're trying to be like Andre, there's a lyricalness to it, but recognizing that Andre himself wouldn't be like, guys, like you never hear him complain about being on a top 5 or top 3 list. Whereas everybody else, like Big, Pac, Jay, Nas, like everybody else is like, no, I want that crown. Andre never really kind of looked for it, and yet everyone gives him the crown. So by Keem saying I'm not a lyricist, it's like saying like, okay, well, I'm not trying to be a big 3 of anything, and now let me just like lyrically assault this song, and then whatever comes out of it comes out of it.
I gotta say, like, I'm walking out of this podcast listening to this album in such a different. I already liked it, but the three of y'all have really given me such a different perspective on this album.
Hell yeah. Yeah, just like I think like in terms of like the other songs that we did mention, like Highway 95 and No Blame are just too heavy to like want to replay. Like I like I'm listening to the album all the way through. I guess I'll work through this, but like I don't want to like I'm not reaching for those two songs. I'm like this is too much. Like this is too sad and this is too disturbing. Like this like material is so heavy. I just want to like I think like No Blame is an interesting note to end on it though because it's like I was saying he blames himself ultimately and shoulders the burden of the generational curses and like he's back to feeling like a burden that he felt like when he was a kid and he's back to feeling like a burden and like burdening like and is burdened by the trying to fix it and then but it's really beautiful that he shows grace to his mom. It's very beautiful that like he shows him the grace that the world did not show her. And I think that's like really, that's just such a beautiful thing. I think Professor Skye said something along the lines of like, how do you make someone accountable without blaming them? Like that's an interesting. Where is that line? I don't. And he's like, I don't know. Like, so I think that's and he doesn't. Keem probably doesn't know either. So I think that's an interesting way to end the album.
Yeah, I think I struggled with it, which was interesting because I love that James Blake album that it samples from. That song "I Never Learned to Share" is such a fucking banger. So I came into it when I heard the sample, being like, "Oh hell, fucking yeah!" Like this is gonna be maybe one of my favorite songs on the album. But I think just because it's at the end, it just feels like such a low note. Like I don't know if you've ever been to a concert where like they end on like a more somber song, and you like kind of walk to the car being like, "Oh, I feel deflated." Like this doesn't like I guess, and I don't know if that's my need for structure, but I did want to like be revved up and out of there, being like, "Fuck yeah, I finished this," and like to sit there with those heavy thoughts about how he's looking at his mom and he's taking so much responsibility. I'm very happy that Spotify. I had my Spotify setting on where it immediately went to no security again, so I could be like, "Okay, cool." Like, whew, I'm not ending on that feeling. Like, it's weird.
You know what it like? I'm on Tidal, so like you know what it does when the album's done, like and what it plays. It plays "Safety" by J. Cole, and it's just like it is just like the baby, him pretending to be the baby, like just like it's
Oh, right. Everyone quit. See, remember I told you I'm not on social media, so everyone quit Spotify because of political reasons. I guess now I should clarify. I joined it when that happened.
The UI is so good. That's like so. I
Oh,
love,
that's funny.
I love drones. Anyways, so like, lowlights. Any lowlights, stray observations? This is pretty. I think it's a pretty positively received album from the four of us. But any lowlights, stray observations?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Highway 95 is a little lower for me, just for the sort of it feels a little monotony, and there's a little monotonousness to it, and I feel like if there's a chink in his armor, that this song kind of exposes it. I don't know. It felt a little indulgent, and it's like he's like pilfering for content in a way. Like, my least favorite line on this album is "fuck school grades, picked in the first grade, play video games as a temporary band-aid." It's like, all right, man, like I get it, but like that's almost TMI, like a little bit. That it might be harsh. I do acknowledge that this might be a harsh read, but
Oh.
it felt a little searching for more to add to this story, or more to give the audience of this story, for me.
I like it in terms of just like, I bet there's a kid who's like, this is their favorite song on the album. Like, I bet there's a kid that's just like, this is like speaking to them on like a very like one-to-one, like I'm holding your
Well, I am
shoulders,
up
like
at this
yeah,
point. So
yeah, like
okay,
No, but it is very like Linkin Park screaming at like your wall, like I'm so angry about life kind of music where like when you grow older you're just like,
and
what was I so mad
and
about?
that's
Like
why it's over an Eminem type beat. Like,
right.
back when my favorite white boy had a good song, and here is that song that what he was inspired by. So like, I also
Right.
get that, which also gives credence and credit to what Keem is doing. So it's like, is it
Right.
a low light? Because I also acknowledge the kind of brilliance and inspiration behind it. So I don't know, just as a
But you're just not in that
face
place anymore,
value.
right? Where
Yeah.
that kind of angst doesn't do anything for
I
you.
haven't thought about fifth grade in too long.
I think for me, my low light, and I will like to provide context. My girlfriend is from the Bay Area. I have been subjected to a lot of Bay Area music. I have feelings about it. I do not like Sex Appeal. It is a instant skip for me. I'm going to be honest.
instant skip.
That's the skip.
It is an instant skip.
my
I've only
gosh.
heard it maybe twice. There was one time I was on my run and it came on and I ruined my run tracking because I was trying to skip it.
All them calories.
But like, yeah, I don't, and I mean, it's also a problem I have with some tracks on GNX. There's something about the Bay Area sound.
Oh,
When I go visit the Bay Area, and it's so it's almost better to me than LA in terms of weather, where it's like almost I was at like a perfect 65, 70. The water's right there. Everyone's so nice. I'm like, why y'all niggas so mad? Like, what's going on with your music that everyone's so fucking pissed off? It doesn't make sense to me. And I think I have that complaint about like there's just something too harsh about the bass and Bay Area music for me.
When you go to your girlfriend's room, are you like, this is the Bay Area?
I'll give you that.
Oh,
I like that.
I like that. That's a fifth grade
Points
rhyme right
from
there.
me.
You like it?
I like have to like sit there and be like, what are you? Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Can I just mention Sex Appeal is my low light as well? Not because I don't like the sound, it's because of what we said with Good Flirts. So with Good Flirts, Kendrick, a 38-year-old, is saying like where you at? I'm on the couch like watching Sinners with my favorite sinner. Like that is
I
exactly
love
the
that line.
description of it. It's so good. Too Short is then saying that he's at the club looking for a girl who likes popping pills and calling her a bitch. And all due respect to Too Short's a rap god, like he's like, one of the greatest. But it just it's just giving a bit, like you're on
Yeah.
like Like, why are you here?
It's a little
Like,
bit
you
of the
should.
other side of the casino flavor, though. Like you gotta
Yeah,
get both
yes,
sides of the
yes,
coin. You gotta speak to it a little
Yeah,
bit.
but
yeah,
now we're in
sure.
Motherfuckers is
downtown.
pimping.
Oh, now we're in Old Town Vegas, and we're like
We're
at a
Old
bar. And
Town.
we're just like, oh, like should we be here? Like, this is
Yes,
not
yes.
great. Tables cost $5, and like I don't know if this drink was all the way mixed. Like that's what that song can feel
Like
like.
I personally would have loved an E40 feature on this.
Ooh.
Like
Mm.
I feel like the just hearing the when the beat goes like doom doom doom, that would have been like, oh yes, this is the Bay. It's E40. E40 would have fun with it, like even flirtatious, like not take it too seriously. Whereas Too Short almost comes across as like, yo, you still in love with this pimpin'. It's like, like with all due
We
respect,
off
like,
that.
bro, like,
We
you know
off.
what I mean? So that for me makes it a bit of like a cringe moment.
I think of this his feature as like John Singleton or like Spike Lee casting Too Short as like the local pimp character in their movie or something. Or just like this is a character, this is a colorful character you see in this world, and like I don't think it's like I don't read it literally or anything. Just that's what I thought.
I don't know. When he drops that bitch, I'm like, he's being
He's
Yeah.
a, he's a good actor. He's like this is a good performance. Like
I also think the idea that Spike Lee would do anything in this movie that he didn't want you to take literally is like he's pretty one to one.
okay,
Like Spike
okay.
Lee's just like, oh, I want to talk about how hip hop like corrupts the minds. I'm going to cast ASAP Rocky. Like he's like very direct with his
Yeah, yeah,
metaphors.
yeah. Yeah, I guess like Birds and the Bees is my low light. Just like
What?
I don't know. This is where I came up with my
Come on, man.
this,
Come on, man.
That's
this,
tough. That's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's tough.
this is where I came up with my like what if 25-year-old Drake was signed to PgLang instead of Young Money, like theory. Just like there's like a Drakey quality to some of these songs, but like the mentorship of like a PgLang artistic patina, and then like a more investment in like introspection and stuff like that. But like literally, like you used to call me on a Friday night, you used to call me on my cell phone, like that's like the same song, like it's the same idea. And like then also the greed entitlement around women sometimes are just like like sex appeal is guilty of that, just like I'm gonna find a new carbon copy because you moving too sloppy. That's a Drake line. And his obsession of like bisexual or bi-curious women, like that's a Drakeism basically. I feel like there's a little bit of like the there's something there, but like I don't want to like get mad. I don't want people to yell at me on the internet.
Yeah, maybe I'm just falling victim to the McDonald's like kind of elements that are in the song. I don't know. Maybe I'm chowing down on the McDouble. Like I don't. Maybe that's what's happening here. But I really like Birds and the Bees. I wrote down that this sounds like the best first beat you ever made. Like, but in the best way. Like all of the elements like finally sound good together. Like the fight
Right.
sample in theory shouldn't work, but it does. The drums are kind of off kilter and like kind of stock sounding, but they work. You know what I mean? And like he caught the melody on top of it. So where it could have been like a near miss, like you running off the diving board and like you catch the slip, but then just spring into the dive and 10. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what Birds and the Bees is for me.
Yeah.
And off of what John is saying with McDonald's, I just wanted to let you guys know
The
that
big
for
arch.
$5 right now, you can get a McDouble, 6 nuggets, and the small fries. You won't get the drink, but for $5 right now, you can do that at McDonald's.
Is that
The
true?
Mac is so good. Is that for
It
real?
is, yeah. Or maybe it's the McChicken. It's one of the smaller sandwiches, but for $5, you can get all three of those items
Okay, yeah.
at McDonald's right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Can I just quickly say on that song, my favorite line of this whole album is when he says, "She want to touch the ox." I'm like, "Bitch, just vibe."
Hmm.
Like I love that. I know it's a bit kind of like whatever, but it's also yes,
Ignorant.
you know,
Ignorant.
I got you. I'm Keem. I've got the ear. You just chill. You just have a nice little moment, drink a little whatever you're drinking. We'll have a good time. We'll flirt a little bit. Just vibe. Don't fucking touch the ox. Like leave it alone. I like that.
Andrew, are you letting your partner touch the ox?
Sometimes, yeah. Like,
Okay.
she likes the same like five to 10 artists though. So it's like
Right.
they're mostly artists I enjoy or tolerate. So yeah. But like like yeah, there's like Friday. I'm like the line about like first of all, the line about hitting it raw, forgot the condom, and not telling her when he's coming. Like that's not nice. Like you should communicate with your partner. Like
But does
no,
the
that's
music video like recontextualize the song for you at all? That like he is kind of calling out his like immaturity and
yeah.
like the woman does win in the end in the music video? Like, is there any sort of like
I
play
should do like
between the song
homework,
and
you
like
know, like I don't know, like I don't know. I like, but like that's why he left. That's why she left you in good flirts. Like that's why this like problem you're having is like why she left you. And he's like the line about like Friday I'm a C to your needs, and the next song's like he used to call me on a Friday night. Like he's just like he's missing the Fridays where he'd see to her needs. So like I don't know. I like that connection though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just one last note here. I said in the song like House Money, he says I'm Keem Wasim back at the stash house. Like he says like his name, like or one of his nicknames. But I thought he said I'm keeping my semen. Like so I thought that's what he said. Instead of, I was like, why is
We're getting in some weird manosphere territory?
that's a weird line? Like
Damn.
yeah. Which is why like so when I thought that was the lyric, I wrote the joke. I'm what's it called? I'm taking my balls and going home is what I wrote down. But it doesn't make sense because like that's not the actual lyric. So yeah. Let's go through final thoughts and ratings. The way this works is we'll rate this out of 10 with a fun metric at the end. Yeah, I think this is a great album. I think this is a potential future classic. I think this is an album we're gonna look at and go like, this is gonna be on like a lot of like hip hop journalists like walls. Like this vinyl is gonna be on their walls. This is a great. This is a fan. This deserves it. It's so fantastic. It's so concise, but it's so powerful. It says a lot. Just Baby Keem doubles down on his star power, and then it pays out. It pays out in dividends. And then I learned so much about him. I learned about so much about him as a person in a way I appreciated. Yeah, so I'll give it 9 bottles of alkaline water out of 10.
I really enjoyed this album. I think it's exactly what I wanted, even though I didn't know I wanted this album, but it really delivered. And for that reason, I'm gonna give it 9.5 out of 10. Like 95.
No, we understood. We understood.
I just thought about it now. Sorry.
It's as funny as my Bay Area joke. Like,
No, that was way better than the way better.
yeah.
I'm gonna hop in and say that, I started this podcast off by saying I don't have any real expectations for Baby Keem, but I think, this being at the front end of 2026, I think this is setting a good pace for the rest of the year, and shouldn't leave my playlist, or won't leave my playlist for like, I don't know, the foreseeable future until something new pops off. Yeah, very concise. I love that Baby Keem has production credits across every song. It feels intimate in that way to kind of couple with the themes and lyrics. There's a lot of bangers on here. I'm going to give it 8 not big arches. I'm going to give it 8 Feist samples out of 10.
Yeah, I think like, coming into this, I really enjoyed the album, but I think walking away from this podcast, you guys gave me like a lot to think about and kind of reminded me that like any project coming from the PgLang family is so much more than what is on the surface. Like there's a lot to be like, a lot of iceberg theory stuff with any of their projects. I don't know if you guys are deep on the internet like that, but like, so it definitely made the album, even though I already liked it, I like it even more coming out of this. I still can't escape the fact that it does feel incomplete. So I think I'm going to give it 8 out of 10, keeping my cum inside of myself.
It's not even like a a noun. It's not a
Yeah.
noun. But whatever. It's fine. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
No, I
So
don't
it has
care.
to
I
be a
don't care.
noun.
I don't care.
8
I
out of
don't care.
10 kept comes. Is that
Yeah,
would
there you
that
go.
be better?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It can't be a verb. I understand.
I don't know. It could have been, but like whatever. All right. So thank you so much, Edgar. Like this is hey man, this is incredible. Like thank you so much for showing up and for
Well,
doing
thank you
this.
for
It's
having me.
so fun. It felt like old times again. Like we warmed up and it felt like good old times. So like Edgar, what do you like to plug? What's out there for you? Strip Law is out on Netflix.
That's truly it. Yeah, check out Strip Law over on Netflix. Go ahead and give it the 2 thumbs up. That's better than
Oh yeah.
1 thumbs up. I heard that even a dislike is better than 1 thumbs up. I guess so.
Jeez
Two
Louise.
thumbs up would be huge. So I can continue to be employed. That would be nice. And yeah, I think that's about it. I just want to say I really appreciate y'all having me again, Andrew. I really do mean it that you have really. I'm blown away by the fact that you've kept this podcast up and you got some excellent co-hosts, Stanley and John. Like, I really appreciate the way that you guys look at both music, but no, you guys are the very introspective, smart dudes. Stanley, I like to know that you're Haitian. That's dope. John, fuck what Baby Keem says. Move to another state. Like, let's do it. And then, please enjoy McDonald's. Please buy the big arch. I need you guys to buy the big arch.
You can get it with a Shamrock Shake too. That's available now too. So yeah, like, you can follow me at Andrew Ambrose Lee on all platforms. You can follow the show at IBMT LTT on Instagram, TikTok. I just released a very funny Yoshi parody. That was very good. Childish Gambino's Yoshi parody. You can follow John at John Butts is here, Stanley at Snap a Stan, Dakota at down_with_fun, and Edgar, any final thoughts?
Oh, nah, no final
Buy the
thoughts.
big
I
arch.
really
Yeah.
appreciate y'all. Oh, yeah, no, I should have said buy the big arch. I'm gonna lose the sponsorship. I've already done a really bad job with it. I did worse than the CEO. So, but I appreciate y'all for having me on. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Bye. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day. Click.